This poem is If You Forget Me by Pablo Neruda. I want you to know one thing. You know how this is. If I look at the crystal moon, at the red of the slow autumn at my window, if I touch near the fire the impalpable ash or the wrinkled body of the log, everything carries me to you. As if everything that exists, aromas, light, metals, were little boats that sail toward those isles of yours that wait for me. Well now, if little by little you stop loving me, I shall stop loving you little by little. If suddenly you forget me, do not look for me, for I shall already have forgotten you. If you think it long and mad, the wind of banners that passes through my life, and you decide to leave me at the shore of the heart where I have my roots, remember that on that day, at that hour, I shall lift my arms and my roots will set off to seek another land. But if each day, each hour, you feel that you are destined for me with implacable sweetness, if each day a flower climbs to your lips to seek me, all my love, all my own, in me all that fire is repeated. Nothing is extinguished or forgotten. My love feeds on your love, beloved, and as long as you live, it will be in your arms without leaving mine. Okay, so if I had to explain this poem, I would say that it's basically about a person who we can safely assume is the author, so Pablo. Pablo is in a relationship with someone romantically or is talking about a friendship, basically saying that everything could be great and I will love you, but if you decide to abandon me and forget about me and just block me out, I'm not going to continue to chase after you. I'm not gonna fight over it. I'm not gonna do anything about it because I'm not one that does the whole unrequited thing. So I think he's basically saying that, like, if a person demolishes a relationship, he is not just going to continue to love them and chase after them and want them back to the end of his days. He's basically just going to forget them the same way that they forgot about him. But on the other side of that, if somehow they do realize that they were wrong and they prove that they still love him and they still want to be in his life and they're still important to him, especially if it's romantic, then his love for them will come flooding back, because it's not something that you can really forget truly by the definition. It's something that you put aside or put to the back of your mind or don't think about, but it's not something that you can completely erase. It's something that once you get back into the swing of things with a person, you realize that you really never stopped loving that person. Whether it was a friendship or a romantic relationship is really not specified, but by the terms of the poem, it's safe to assume that it was basically in a romantic sense, and it almost seems like something that's written beforehand, like something that he could be in a relationship now, and this is what he's telling his partner, that if you forget me, this is what'll happen. Like, I don't feel like this has already happened to him. I just think that he is laying those ground rules for his relationship. Yeah. This poem. I chose this poem because I think it applies to me pretty well. It's a very relatable poem, and also it's very literal. Like, it clearly explains, like, I will forget about you if you prove that you still love me. I will love you back, but I won't if you don't love me. It's kind of simple. This kind of relates back to like an irrational fear that I have. This is with friendships, not relationships, is how I relate to this poem. This irrational fear that I have is basically that as soon as I go off to college and my friends go off to college and we like get jobs and have a life, they will forget about me and we will never see each other again. I've had this fear basically since I found out about college when I was really young, because I don't know, I just expected to spend the rest of my life with a lot of these people because I wouldn't want it any other way. But this poem kind of explains like how I feel about that. Like, if they forget me, I will be so angry, but I know that like if we cross paths again or we get close again, like all of those like feelings of friendship and love will come back to me, and it'll basically like be like getting back in the swing of things and kind of just resuming where we left off, I guess. I don't know, that's how I relate to it, and it seems pretty irrational, but it makes sense to me. And also, I relate to the end where it says that the fire is repeated and nothing in me was extinguished or forgotten, because I feel like that's how I operate, basically. Like, I can hate a person, which, like, I do hate a couple of people, but, like, I can never forget what happened, good and bad. Like, as much as people try to suppress things, you never really forget the good or the bad. It's always there. So as soon as you see that person, all of those good or bad feelings come back. So I think that I can relate to the whole nothing ever being extinguished or forgotten, because you never truly forget an event or an occurrence in your life, as much as some of us want to. So yeah, East Missile out. Get cabbage.